finish this up. I also thought the Bloodseeker pick into Void Spirit seems a little bit strange. Just you have ways of not being so bothered by the rupture, obviously, and yeah, just a little bit curious about that Bloodseeker. Of course, it's quite a strong hero, but we'll just have to see how he does. I'm thinking 5 men they're gonna look to. I mean, for their sake, I hope that they choose not to go for the just rely on this draw ranger to be the sole carry.
Yeah, I mean, the funny part about this is just 5 men already going, I see you struggle with that drow. Let's show you how to use it, all right? Step 1, pick drow. Step 2, pick a second hero that actually does something, in the physical department as the game goes on.
I mean, Drow Void Spirit, is that not sort of a combination we know that we've seen just very recently, I feel like, almost?
Where was it? I think it was, was it in my pub game? No,
Can't
people don't want to hear this.
remember.
We
game
did see it
was that?
Undying, though. Like, this is the more peculiar part for me.
And
this
there's
is
the Wind Ranger. And I mean,
that's a misery
if,
hero.
if Slacks was here, he'd be just, like, this game's done.
He's like, it's over. They fucking lost. It's like, okay, yep, Slacks, get out of here quick. We understand you hate Wind Ranger, but let's be honest, a lot of pro teams are enjoying it right now. Okay.
Yeah, and I mean, there was this other CK pick earlier today where it was kind of countered, I think, already. But this CK, I think it's a little bit better here. You're going up against, like I think both Wind Ranger and Undying struggle quite a bit, as well as Straw Ranger. Like the three of them, they are not the best heroes at dealing with this Chaos Knight. And this is also going to be a CK with the Ink Soul here.
Yeah, although I wonder which way they want to play it. Like, I imagine they're going to stick Grimstroke with the Chaos Knight. There is still some flexibility if you want to run the Grimstroke with the Bloodseeker. I mean, they don't have final picks, so for all we know, this could still be the tiny mid.
Yeah, it could be tiny mid or 4, either way, and then they could CK with the Grimstroke. I think it's quite a strong lane. And just look to close this out with either a +4 or 2 or something that you can flex kind of.
I'm trying to think what 5 men are really lacking here. I want to say probably
feel like they're
an aura builder, like an
I think they're
offlaner.
lacking team fight and ways of dealing with the CK illusions.
Tidehunter.
Yeah, something like a Tidehunter wouldn't be the worst actually here. I could definitely see Tidehunter. Yeah, the Underlord gets removed. We're gonna see the second here ban. But yeah, something along the lines of a Tidehunter.
Yeah, it's
Some
like
team fight heavy big boy that can deal with illusions.
also does reasonable in the lane, right? Like, you can get pressured a little bit, but the anchor smash, as the game goes on as well, you kind of nullify a lot of the Chaos Knight's output in the fights.
Yeah, definitely.
And of course, yeah, it's that aura builder. That's why they banned the Underlord. Like, final ban wise, I'm trying to think if there's a high value hero available than Tide right now.
Yeah, I quite like what Unique have going here right now. I would like them to also kind of, I don't know, just also some mid hero with that with plays with tempo, unless it's the tiny, and then just with some sort of scalability.
Okay, so they get rid of the Brewmaster as well. I mean, it's decent team fight. Don't feel like we see many teams prioritizing the Brewmaster at the moment. Definitely a hero that
No,
feels
it's just
pretty
one of
dead.
those heroes that it's always been very good at dealing with illusions, right? Just
Yeah.
you get that win panda and you just dispel and remove so much HP of those illusions that it becomes difficult to play.
Unique. Do you feel like you need some sort of accelerant? I feel like they maybe need a hero that can apply pressure, like a tempo type mid. Things like DK, Pugna, these type of heroes.
Yeah, I'm not super big fan. I feel like DK is a bit too clunky, too slow. I like the fact that these heroes, they're all very fast. They play around low cooldowns except for the CK ult. I think they can just play a very high tempo game. And I would like to see them, continue that same pace.
Okay, so this is going to be the tiny mid, which will kind of set that pace, not worrying about cooldowns. And we'll get the Shadow Demon probably in the 4 role, as we see a lot of CIS teams tend to prioritize Shadow Demon as a 4.
Yep. Yeah, so it's going to be the Shadow Demon once again, creating further illusions if you want to for the CK. Or just kind of turning it onto the Draw Ranger. I think this is also kind of a nice way of getting on top of this Draw Ranger, this purge, right? It continuously just purges, so you can't really, like forcing and stuff like this yourself out is going to be difficult. And
Also,
Draw
lane of
Ranger
phase,
is looking
right?
like a target here.
Like lane of phase, you have easy setup for the blood rights, so you can apply pressure. It looks like 5 men are going to round it out with the Jakiro. Now, I have seen 1 or 2 teams doing the mid Jakiro, but I wonder if we're going to get this time. We're going to get the off lane Jakiro, okay. And we are going to get Chessie on the Wind Ranger. So mix it up. I'm pretty sure Team Unique were expecting the mid Void Spirit at the end of this.
Yeah, I don't know. I really don't like the 5-man draft here. I think it looks very awkward. Maybe they have some idea here of like how this THD and Void Spirit can kind of counter the CK in the lane, and that way you can play this very high tempo draft. But I I kind of like what Unique have going here. I think they have a sort of, I don't know, they have a pretty easy way, I would say, of playing this. Potentially, if this THD can scale very well, then 5-man can do something. But I don't know, it just seems kind of difficult.
Yeah, it seems like 5 men are going, yo, you guys want to play challenge mode? Like, what's that? It's where we take this like ridiculous draft that has to snowball off the lanes, and if it doesn't, we're probably just going to GG out like 25 minutes. Okay.
Yeah, something along those lines.
But you can see, like, we've seen this from 5 men before. They, out the teams, do like to do this occasionally. If they feel like I think we saw it in the group stage where if they felt like they had a confident game, the second game, we looked at the draft and we went, this is a little bit OG-esque, right? Where they've just got these piecemeal heroes that maybe don't make sense to us, but they have an idea of how they want to play it.
No, I'm sure they do have an idea of what they're going to do in this scenario. It's just they're gonna have issues dealing with the CK if he gets off to any sort of decent start here.
I guess the concern when you do look at the CK though is it is a hero that, you know, you get that mid game, you lose 1 or 2 crucial fights, comeback is very difficult. It's not a hero that can, you know, necessarily farm that quickly. Of course, Phantasm has had some buffs, but I feel like once you get around the 30-minute mark, that Phantasm needs to be saved for the team fights almost always.
Yeah, to some extent. I mean, for sure you can farm with it quite a bit, but I think in a game like this, I think CK could also just, I don't know, I think he can function even without the illusions. I think he can function kind of well. I could see him go towards something like a Halberd this game. Just it's going to be very good against both the Wind Ranger and the Draw Ranger. And I just think it seems difficult to bring down a lot of these unique heroes.
I'm wondering if GPK is likely to do the same build as last game. Like, I see the merit of it in this game especially, right? Like, imagine Chessie, he survives the Avalanche toss and you just yules him up.
Yeah, I mean, this game he does have a lot of targets that are very susceptible to dying. Pretty much all these heroes can die to this Tiny almost at no point. Like, doesn't matter when in the game, but they're all very susceptible to just getting comboed.
And I feel like there's maybe a lot of pressure on Xibe to start to barrel from the lane. Like, we've mentioned, we can see 5 men maybe winning if they like get off to a good start on the laning phase. I feel like Jakiro is especially that way, right? Like, there was a while, I want to say like a year or so ago at least. Actually, probably like 2 or 3 years. Where Jakiro mid was a thing, right? And it was this pretty rapid-paced hero. It could apply pressure, take the early tier 1 towers. But the backlash is that after that, what do you do? Like, with Gold Influx, what is your plan? What is your game?
Yeah, I mean, he's pretty much just an aura builder most of the time, you know, like Greaves, Pipe, Yules, etc. And try to buff up your team. Try to throw out some ice paths and stuff.
Outside that, it can be a little bit awkward. And you need to make sure you don't get pressured too hard. Instead, they're applying the pressure on 19 team. So it's the awkward part about Jakiro is trading with it is not easy. And considering they start with the Uvo Misery, it becomes all that more difficult in these first levels for Chaos Knight.
Yeah, they're gonna have to go through some region here to sustain for Unique, but it's all good.
You know, mid, Chessie getting a little bit of the better side of it, but this is kind of to be expected in the early levels, right? GPK has no armor to speak of. Chessie can just right click away at him. Wind Run more or less always gives you a get out of jail free card.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's kind of difficult for this Wind Ranger to get a lot of sets. Chessie's been doing a pretty good job so far, but he's going through his mana quite quickly, so he needs to get to that bottle.
Oh, need more bot. They actually do run down Misery in the end. They say, why try and deal with this hefty double-headed dragon when we can just take out the squishy Void Spirit?
Yeah, I mean, CK has a lot of damage. And on top of that, you know, like it's the Inkswell plus Reality Rift into another stun. It's just a very easy way of getting a kill onto pretty much anyone.
Yeah, followed by, of course, the Stroke of Fate slow as well. I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if Misery considers an early point to dissimulate on this lane just to dodge out the Inkswells when they jump him. More top. Paladai has already been burnt of his regen, so they should just be able to actually get away with pressuring Ace at this stage.
Yeah, and because of Paladai's low HP, it means that the Bloodseeker is going to be very quick. Illusion is taking a bit of damage here. He's gonna get the disruption, and I think Ace might just be in trouble here.
No, the
he does actually find himself on the right, on the right side of that disruption. But he's very low, and I mean, Paladai, you look at him, he's suiciding to neutrals now. It's gonna take a while before he's back there. He's gonna bring some regen, but Ace is just gonna sit here and watch BZZ farm.
Yeah, and even when you get back, like, how do you pressure this Bloodseeker? He's gonna have level 3 at that point. And 2 points in the blood riot. We've seen this kind of damage. It's pretty absurd.
Yeah, and he's also got, you know, he's got 6 armor, and now he's going for the Orb of Venom, so he's gonna be able to kind of run down range if he ever gets.
Few more bot. Found a kill. Misery steps out of place again, gets punished for it. And this is kind of the awkward part of when you choose to start this Eve, right? Like, you are all in. There isn't really a disengage from a Chaos Knight and a Grimstroke if you get caught out of position.
No, there is definitely not. And yeah, it's gonna be hard for him to find some impact in this laning stage at least. The CK already being level 4 now with the Bracer. He's gonna be quite durable.
Yeah, Seabay's already getting low on mana. He needs to actually ferry more out to him. But right now, it's just the raindrop. So focusing on his survivability. But I don't think that was ever in question. It's more just how do you keep Misery alive in this lane?
Yeah, and Vensker is just he's gonna get back to bottom now with a bunch of regen, some sticks and some boots for the CK. I think this lane is gonna get it's gonna be pretty scary for 5 men.
Good news side of things, Chessie was able to yoink the rune. So GPK is going to be the one finding himself a little bit lacking in his arcane runes, so you can maybe pressure with the power shot spam.
Yeah, initiation down here onto Sitte.
Yeah, I'm gonna go for him. The raindrops helping out a little bit. You'd normally be dead by now, but it doesn't change the end result. And Misery himself needs to be a little bit careful because they've got a Mango and these crits.
Yeah, the crits. I mean, he's just trying to hide here, but
I mean, you could sense that feeling of kind of screwed, right? Like if they look the right way, there is no way in hell you're getting out as the Void Spirit.
Oh, he would have been in trouble, and you see Misery already a lot of boots here in his inventory. It will be interesting to see if he decides to go for the 8 boots build or not, or 7 boots build.
Don't forget the bottle though. The bottle is going to be crucial there. You know, if he had all these boots, he'd be able to keep up with 19 team right now. Instead, the salve's going to go off. Power shot is sidestep though. Vanscore does front the hit. The Resonant Pulse, I don't think he got the damage. He needs one more hit. He does get it out before the stun's available. However, it will probably cost him his life. 19 team. Ooh. There is a Bloodseeker in this game. So that Fairy Fire is a waste.
Yeah, well, Chessie's making these rotations. GPK is just gonna, you know, happily just keep hitting creeps.
Already seeing an XP advantage for him. Even those extra denies not favoring Chessie so far. Of course, his role is kind of more simple, right? If he just stays on his lane and he is like avalanche toss occasionally with Chessie and controls the runes, then you're going to keep him low, and that means BZZ can definitely win that top lane against Ace, which he's already doing convincingly with 14 denies.
Yeah, it's not an easy lane for Drow to sit in, even though he has the backup of this Undying. You know, the Undying gets low, then the Bloodseeker gets stronger. Of course, the Bloodseeker is already quite good at last hitting. And also, you have to be very careful with the Blood Rights.
Ooh, rotation. Easy kill on the Illusion. BZZ will look to TP away, and they only have 1 stun, so there's no way of stopping him. Meanwhile, in the bot lane, they don't need a rotation from their mid. They're just brawling already. Might work against them if they're not careful, though. 19 team being slowed by that Oof. Slows will come up, and Misery knows he has to back away. That's way too many crits in a row for 19 Teen, who's been maxing out his passive.
Yeah, and GPK now in this bottom lane, he's looking for Sibbe, and this should be a fairly easy kill. Sibbe's gonna make him work for it a little bit, but should just go down here.
Misery just stuck on the side going, I have no real effect at this point. I just need to leave. Although, Jesse, now she's getting a little bit of a lead in terms of CS. Net worth-wise, is still favoring GPK slightly.
And Misery rotates top, but this is already spotted, and they pinged it out.
I mean, what's your play on the BCC as well? He throws down Blood Right, a Rupture if need be, and he just runs away. I think you've come to the lane, which feels like the hardest kill now.
Yeah, and now it's also the fact that now Sibbe has nowhere to go. With Misery being up here, they are gonna kind of botch their spells there onto the Draw Ranger, but she's still gonna get kind of low here.
She needs to be careful. Rupture as well, and she's just gone. That's the level 2 Shadow Poison for you. And they're not done. BCZ's moving in onto Misery. He decides to back away, though.
Yeah, BCZ's already queuing up this Veil. I'm feeling very worried about 5 men's kind of chances here in this early game, at least.
I mean, the worrying part is, like, you maybe look at your mid lane and go, well, you got wind range, and maybe that's powerful, but you're breaking even with the Tiny. I would say, you've already highlighted, right, it's a good Tiny game, but it's easier for him to find kills than the Wind Ranger as well.
Oh yeah, it's so much easier, and, you know, the cooldowns, his cooldowns are also way lower.
Shackle.
Just that kind of playing, you know, Windrunner kind of relies on the focus fire to make kills happen later on.
Yeah, and then you've always got this Undying as well. Hero that isn't really known for his mid-game potential.
No, and he's suffered so much in this laning stage. It's going to be very difficult for him and Misery once again in the top lane. Looks like he's going to be the target here.
He's got the Dissimulate, but there's nowhere to run. Poison will stack on top of him. Stance is on as well. It'll at least farm up the Phantom's Embrace, but there's just no way. He's just desperately trying to get that level 6 so he's not a kill anymore. He's not a liability.
If you look at the net worth, you can already see that just the 3 top farmers are all on the side of Unique here.
He's definitely looking green. And not just that, in the mid lane. Chessie gets caught out. He was trying to min-max with the regen rune. Pays the ultimate price for it. Okay.
Yeah, and the one lane that was pretty much kind of being close to breaking even now.
I don't really know what the plan is there for Misery.
No, he just ports into his deaths. Yeah.
That's the level 9 Tiny. 1,400 gold towards that Blink Dagger already, and he's going to get more money at this rate. Cuts around the back, sees Pylai die. Doesn't want that, though. He says, no, 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 no. I want the big kill. Macropar coming out. GPK taking decent damage, but they're going to bring down the Jakiro. Disruption to buy some time. With the focus fire out, they'll be able to punish GPK. And they ping it, 19 teen, but they don't have any way of stunning him, so he will be able to TP to the mid lane successfully.
Yeah, I mean, like, at least kind of some slight overcommitment there to get the kill on the THD, so it backfires a bit and they lose 2, but like you said, Tiny already got a lot of gold towards his Blink Dagger. CK closing in on the Midas. And Bloodseeker, I think, with the finished Veil now.
I think Jesse's in trouble here as well. They haven't even touched him with the Veil. He does get away in time. Jakiro is stanced on the arrival. The stun's gone and a Pylai die, and they're going to throw down the Blood Right, dragging him into his death. Soulbind is a waste, though. Maybe. Maybe now you can find a play. 19 is insanely low. He needs to back up fully here. Keep the tier 1 alive at least. As everyone is here, no one is really benefiting if no towers fall.
Chessie manages to get the Javelin at least. Pi is gonna come in here now, probably with the smoke, and let's see if they actually deward this. They do not, so the smoke is completely spotted. And they should be very easy to not fall into this kind of trap by 5 men. Potentially you could lose your Shadow Demon, you know, maybe, but even him, he's playing quite cautiously, and
And the moment you show, you have to worry about Xibe in the mid lane as well. If he plays a little bit too far forward, considering Blink Dagger's close for GPK. Instead, they want to defend bot. Disruption to buy some time. Into the Remnant. Ensures Illusion should be brought down, but not before he does some damage. Man score is being brought low. He'll die as well, and they're just trickling in maybe a little bit too slow. On the side, Paralyze die. Will die for this, so actually ends up being a 2-for-2 exchange in the favor of 5 men.
Well, at the same time, they did lose their mid hero and the 5 for 2 supports, so I think you're still very happy as Unique here.
I don't know why I said 5 men. Long day. It depends. If you think your Wind Ranger's a support and Xibe is your true mid now, then you're like, oh, not bad. But I am kind of anxiously waiting to see where the impact point arrives for this Jakiro free.
Yeah, and also for kind of the Void Spirit 4, who's not having the best of games.
He's still deciding about those boots.
Yeah, I mean, he still got the 6 of them queued up. So we'll see. That is indeed the route that he decides to go for.
I mean, maybe Misery's just really paranoid. He's worried about stream frames. Drow is low. Knows he's going to die. Just wants to see if he can take one with him, but with a clunk of a tree, that is negative. Ice Path down. Illusion. Sidesteps, but is going to be burnt out. 19 team did use the Phantasm. Misery trying to dish out the damage to the Illusion to bring them down. Parlay Die stunned up for 2 seconds, but 2 tanky to bring down. The turnaround's going to happen. Rupture on the side in the meantime, and a Chessie. Focus Fire does not finish off Fanscore, which means he throws out the Soulbind onto 2. And they're stuck together. Parlay Die cannot escape. Misery's out of mana as well, so it's going to be awkward to try and retreat from this side. BZZ just whittling down Parlay Die will be able to close that kill.
Yeah, these fights are just not really favoring 5 men. They're kind of just getting run at, and it's not going to stop there.
Nope. Peace. BZZ is able to sidestep. Remnant connects onto GPK. You do have the slows, but you don't have the stuns. Whoops. Uh-oh.
Oh, I think they maybe whiffed the timing there.
Yeah, just a little bit. Now Shackle Shot. Punishment for Illusion. They'll slow him down with the multi-shot. They'll close out that kill. Maybe now they can finally get something out of this in terms of value, in terms of the tower, at least. The GPK is waiting. This boy is ready to jump.
I don't even know that they can. I mean, there's the Blood Right. There's GPK kind of just lurking.
Shackle Shot inside. Chessie moves in, finds BCC, but the Rupture comes out in time, and he's in trouble. Forced to stand and fight. Ice Path to try and save the day, but it barely clips the fight, and they will lose the Wind Ranger. They need to be careful. Drag in. Xibe throws out the Macropine. 19 gets way too greedy here. Should be chased down. Phantom's Embrace will not change the outcome either. They'll stun up at least. Drag in, and that works against GPK. Gets the toss out, but the Ice Path is there. Ace is trying to juke away from him, but it's not good enough. He's going to be brought down. Inkswell stun full up on Xibe. Not going to be enough damage onto him. The push to come out as well. Disruption to try and save the day. GPK is insanely low. Should die in the end, but not before he takes a Jakiro alongside him as Illusion's able to get the kill on Xibe.
Yeah, I mean, finally, 5 men are starting to find at least a few of these kind of counter kills, and they are evening it out a little bit. You know, Chessie also getting that kill onto the CK, was it? So they're finding something, but the counter kills keep happening.
Misery kind of killed himself there as well.
Yeah, BCC is also very close now to his BKB already, so that's gonna be a very scary Bloodseeker.
Yeah. I mean, there's a big concern for Chessie here, right? Like, you can see he's queued up this NKB. You can understand that's kind of his focus, but speaking of focus, I don't feel like Focus Fire is going to cut it as this game goes on. Like, I look at Unique in this mid-game. How many targets do you have that you need to deal with, right? Like, this is usually the downside to Wind Ranger in the core role, is if it's not a 1 Protect 4 type lineup, it gets very scary. And you can see that Unique, like, they have 3 cores that are all capable of kind of carrying those mid-game fights.
Yeah, not an easy Wind Ranger game by any means. And now we see here GPK is going for this other build here, the more so standard Blink into Echo Saber, most likely kind of translating into some more right-click build here.
Yeah, it's not your Drow type draft where you have this one thing to protect. Like, if a Chaos Knight needs protecting, something else has gone wrong in your draft already. You need to be just an additional force of damage in these fights.
Yeah, I mean, Misery is at least starting to find a few of these kills here. You can see he's all to level 9, 9.5, soon 10 here. So he is starting to make something happen despite having this kind of awkward start to the game. And they are finding some levels for 5-men here, but it's just this scary CK, right? He just keeps farming, and all 3 of these cores on Unique are very happy, and the THD is kind of being left behind a little bit here.
I mean, you say the Chaos Knight is farming. I'm looking at BZZ really. Like, this BKB is going to mean he keeps relevance, right? He hasn't gone for that just full utility type Bloodseeker we see so much of. He understands that he can dish out the damage at frontline as well. We're going to try and punish Pylai for doing exactly that. Inkswell, though, will not be able to get them in as Chaos Knight gets interrupted by the Remnant. Rupture gets thrown out into Misery. Toss up in the air, but he's too tanky. The mech heals him up enough to get him away, and he'll stand his ground.
Yeah, and the tombstone, they're kind of just protecting everything. It kind of makes it Unique. They don't really want to just rush into this tomb and you know, get swarmed by zombies.
You know, I don't like saying it, but I'm gonna say it. This is a high impact Undying game so far. Like, Pylai's presence in the fight, you've definitely felt it. It's not like one of those games we see so often where the laning phase finishes and it's like, what does the Undying do?
Yeah, I mean, there has been a lot of brawling, right? And Undying, of course, he is a big brawler, but at the same time...
Oh. TPK. Oh, no, the Shack Shot lands. Trying to move in the Avalanche. Went out, backer part. Ice Path follow up. Connects with the Chaos Knight, but Phantasm's going to be cast. Chasing in. The Blood Rider zone out the fight. 19T drags them in. Looking at Shakiro, but he brought in Undying as well. 19T will die for it, however. An Illusion found on the side is also going to fall. A fight that favors 5-men, but will it for long? Avalanche tossed in. GPK causes some havoc. Brings down 1. Able to find the second, though, so they get the kill on a chest here. 2-for-2 exchange, but it's not done. BKB forced out of BZZ, and it means he's leaving Van Score behind. With that, you might leave your tower behind.
Yeah, Pylai once again with the clutch tombstone placement there onto the high ground. Now there's going to be this double damage top for Ace if he wants it. Should get spotted out momentarily here.
You know they're a little bit hesitant because GPK. Speaking of which, he gives them reason. He goes straight in, ruptures onto Ace, which means he has to back off completely and leave CB behind. He has got the mech, which allows him to retreat as well. But Illusion, going to be punished for that move there. You want to get the disruption out. Gust as well. Oh no, he procced on the creep. Okay, that's
unfortunate. Kind of misclick there.
I mean, it's painful because it was a proc as well, right? So you know it was a guaranteed kill if you get it on the hero instead. Oh no. All right, we've seen the true power of Undying already. How about Undying DD?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing is, like, you can see Ace is at least kind of catching up now in terms of net worth. He is allowed to sit in the back in some of these fights, kind of thanks to Pylai.
Who is very deep this time. Flesh Golem got off, though. Bloodrite try and create some space, but the damage is already done. GPK is down. The Tombstone favorably placed again. Pylai says, thank you for giving me the initiation. And Vanscore needs to be careful. If he gets hit by that shackle, he's dead. BZZ once again forced to use a BKB in an unfavorable way. Remnant does connect from Misery, though, on point onto Vanscore. The Soulbind will not change anything about this fight. You can see he wants to rupture, but they kind of encourage it, like, go for it. I don't see what your follow-up is if you use that spell.
Yeah, and I have to commend 5-men on their team fighting so far. I think they've done a very good job at kind of consolidating. I say that as Jesse gets picked off, but just in terms of these team fights, I think they're doing a very good job at kind of covering one another. And just, I think Pylai so far has been doing a very good job at just kind of being the classic tanky frontliner Undying, getting all of his spells off and just dealing a lot of damage even.
Yeah, I think the challenge with Undying is, you know, you see me sometimes talk about HP as a resource, right? I think Undying is a prime example of this. And it's a very hard line to skirt. But so far this game, he's been sufficiently tanking the damage, which offsets any aggression onto his cause without giving over his life like we see so often from Undyings.
Yeah, I mean, he got the early Glimmer Cape, and he's got a lot of levels, right? He's already level 12, so even higher level than Exhibit, but yeah, one thing is Chessie now is he's struggling quite a bit. He's got the 2 components of his MKB, but he's still quite a ways away, and even if he gets that, I mean, he's gonna need a BKB, and he's still gonna be susceptible to getting, you know, both purged and ruptured. at which point the win run will not be very useful. And so it's going to be a kind of a difficult game for him.
It feels like he's seen the way the draft functions, and he's kind of admitted, I'm going to die in these fights. It's just a case of whether I can bring down my target with me. Like, that's kind of the game.
For sure. Yeah, in a sense, that is a good thing, because it at least will allow Ace to be dealing some damage.
They want to deal some damage now with this smoke. It's going to be smoke on smoke, though. But Unique, this is trying to regroup quick enough. Paladai will go down. Go in, rather. Flesh Golem comes out. Hasn't thrown down the Tombstone just yet, but now he'll go down. Damage way too much out Chaos Knight. Rupture on the side on Ace. BCZ chasing him with BKB, but it's a runaway BKB. I feel like we've seen a few of those already. 19 team cooking in the fire, needs to retreat in the meantime. They will force the buyback out of Paladai. Fan score is brought down. Movement on to Ace is successful. Dead for 50 seconds. And GPK looking to casually run away. Meanwhile, on the side, BCZ does get brought down by Misery. 3 seconds stun out on the Paladai. They want to try and get their die back out, but the heal is big with the creeps nearby. 19 team trying to TP away. Paladai does die to the stick coming out from GPK. As he tosses it in, finds the kill. 4 seconds stun in the meantime on Chessie. The 19 team, I don't think he's going to get the kill. He's going to die for it. It's a team wipe as Unique lose all. While 5 men did need to buy back, did get that dieback occurrence on the Paladai, they'll be feeling good about the outcome of that fight.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, Pi once again coming in really clutch there with his buyback. They managed to get on top of Ace. You saw it, like, once he gets ruptured, it's very difficult for him. When they have their eyes kind of set on him and they have a clear way of getting to him, it's kind of easy to just focus down this Draw Ranger. However, this fight is going to be the completed MKB now on the Windrunner, so a big influx of gold there. And Ace still topping the charts despite dying there. Firemen are definitely, they're finding some footing in this game.
This is the awkward part about the way they're fighting, right? Like, they're forcing these phantasms out far away from Ace. And credit to the Jakira where credit is due. Even if he doesn't necessarily hit the ice path, like these macro pies, these AoE slows, they're screwing over the ability to follow up on Ace, right? Like we saw it from BZZ. He ruptures, he BKBs. He runs in, goes, this is a bad idea. Instantly runs away. And still dies at the end of his BKB.
Yeah, it can be a little bit tough for this Bloodseeker to play against Drow. I mean, it goes both ways, right? Once you get the rupture on the Drow, he's gonna stay there, but it's hard to deal all that damage to the Draw Ranger. I mean, it's a Manta style Dragonlance now with an Ogre Axe, you know, sitting at almost 2k HP.
And then
so
let's not forget the Guardian Greaves as well as on Xibe. Then the Soul Rip.
The Glimmer Cape, Soul Rip, etc.
And that's an easy Soulbind force. Misery just gets away with it. I think they believe that they were smoked very closely behind the Void Spirit. Not given enough credit to how long Misery can buy for reinforcements to arrive.
Yeah, and I think it's kind of impressive. Like, I mean, you look at Misery, he's already level 16, right? So he's highest level in his team. He's just been pretty much brawling non-stop, and I think he was down to, I don't know if he was down to 0-7 at some point. He's caught up very nicely. I think he might even be top level in the game right now.
Yeah, that's kind of the power of this hero, right? Whether it's in the support or core role. Like, if you don't want to fight, there aren't many heroes that feel safer to split push than a Void Spirit.
Yeah, and you can also see, like, from his net worth, right? He's almost up there with the cores.
Oh, no. That's Rupture used. You might want to back away quickly here. Tombstone on the high ground to check if anyone's nearby. GPK has to blink away. And they decide to go to Roche. Considering there is no double Rupture play available now. I mean, Soulbind still on cooldown for 30 seconds. They've read this perfectly.
Very scary to go for.
You say that. Maybe the jump in from GPK, but they do not have the Soulbind. They do not have the Rupture combos. Paladai does not have a life, though. Easy pick. The wraparound. GPK goes in. Avalanche. Inks well into free. Tosses well to control him up. BCZ with the BKB. Chessie standing his ground trying to fight. Has to move away. Doesn't have the focus bar to play with anymore. Shackle shot is good. Connects on a Roche, stopping GPK from pursuing further. They do manage to TP heroes away. The problem is you've just warmed up Roche for the side of Unique.
Yeah, I feel like that was very, very awkward to start doing that Roche when Unique are so incredibly close, and they also have to commit the focus fire to doing that Roche, which means it's not going to be a part of the fight, and so they're just not going to have enough damage. And now the 3k advantage they had spent so long trying to kind of close in on it's right back, and it's also going to be this Aegis now on the CK, who does have a finished BKB now.
And if you get forced into committing your burst on the first life, he'll instantly Phantasm when he's back up. And that's the worry. I mean, you do have the Ice Path, and it's easy setup for that second life. But The problem is getting through that health pool. It's a free KHB CK. Killing him once is enough of a challenge at this stage. Twice, I think you're overreaching. You can see, they want to see if someone's going to come and defend this. Nice path. Decent damage. Tombstone down as well, so 19 will be forced back. They do not want to forfeit this tier 1 tower without some sort of trade. Rupture thrown out on the side. Jesse able to walk it off, though. And there's your heals. How do you counter Bloodseeker? Just heal them, lol. And yeah, they'll just deny it in the end. They realize the next push will guarantee the kill on the tower. They're happy that there's no opportunity now for Unique to instantly aggress afterwards.
Yeah, they're still doing a good job at just kind of delaying everything that Unique is doing. Just make it more difficult for them.
Which is surprising,
However,
right? Because when we talked about Drow and CK in previous games, right, it feels like these two sides want the opposite, where CK is happy to go later and Drows can feel a bit wonky. But 5 men seem to be committed to that later timing, really.
Yeah, I think they just don't really have that much of a choice anymore. There's going to be a BKB now on both the Tiny and the CK. And there's going to be a dead Pilot Eye.
Yeah, he's finally playing Undying the way it was designed. Glad he stopped that whole, you know, Chad Undying. I mean, I wouldn't want people to get the wrong idea about that hero.
No, I mean, Undying is meant for dying, right?
Which is the awkward part about his name, right? Like,
it's a little bit awkward.
Contradiction.
But I mean, it's just like...
It's like Tiny.
So his name is Undying, but there's also Pilot Die. So there's like double die, so he has to be dying.
That's true. You could have went with like the easier option, which is look at Tiny. Contradiction.
Right. That is also a fair point.
Ooh. Look at Void Spirit, huh?
Spirit
yeah, suggests
look at
souls.
AIDS.
The ace is gone. We don't look at that. That's not appropriate for TV. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Finish him off. There we go. Don't worry, he made space so Misery could TP away. Which,
yeah,
by the way,
I think they lost the Orb of Destruction there.
Yes, they did. Which is a bit rough. Let's look on the upside, though. They have got an Ags on the Void Spirit. So, really screws over Team Unique supports at this stage. As long as he doesn't die. Which might be happening. Just a moment. Luckily for him, the Avalanche Toss combo is on cooldown. But that won't stop GPK from Hunt. Twilight Die is able to move away, though. As the Yules will save the day. All the while, 5 men, they understand they can't directly combat this. Not without the Drow. They're just trying to force a split from the side of Team Unique. And they might do that, but it might cost them. Seabait needs an out here. And I don't know if he's going to find it. Because GPK is going to refuse to use both of his stunts. The mid lane, however, Pilot Die oversteps his mark. He's going to get dragged into his death. And in the bot lane, Seabait is still making this very awkward for GPK.
I mean, this is taking some time.
Even BKBs, he's had enough of this crap. He's like, you, sir, will die. Just die.
Yeah, it did take some time, and in the meanwhile, they did get the mid tower as well as another kill on Pilot. And now they're starting to pull ahead quite a bit here.
Of course, the Aegis is running out soon, so you know, 5 men. If you're looking on the upside, if you're one of those 5 men fans, you can say that they delayed any big losses after that initial Drow casualty. But you still did lose your Drow in that situation. You still did lose your Drow at a pivotal moment where she's getting close to the BKB, but still doesn't have it.
Yeah, and they're also losing a lot of map control right now. Just kind of bleeding kills and a lot of map control.
And 19 Teens damage dish out is going to increase soon as well. He's almost got the MKB completed.
Yeah, and at that point, it's going to be very scary for Jesse to play. Even if he gets the BKB, there's just going to be the, Reality Rift pierces spell immune. And CK will just be able to press ult, press Reality Rift on Wind Ranger, and Wind Ranger goes bye-bye.
Because Splat is also acceptable. He's already proven that in about 2 seconds he can kill Jesse in this game. That was several minutes ago with less damage. The difference here is he has more damage. Jesse doesn't really have more health. Not much, anyway.
Yeah, the Aegis is, however, gone for the CK.
They're trying to see if they can force the BKB out. Ice Path down. Inksflow to try and make him escape. Disruption to save the day. BCZ has the BKB trying to get rid of the Tombstone, but he cannot see it. Bloodright to try and stun them away so he can retreat. BKB from 19 teams so he can TP out. BCZ on the side. Can they find him? Ice Path is going for the kill in the Grimstroke instead. They didn't think they'd be able to find the kill in the Bloodseeker.
Yeah, I don't know. They spent the smoke for that. They really want another kill than just getting this position 5 Grimstroke. Was pretty much at the bottom in terms of net worth.
And in fairness, that is the 10-second BKB from 19 right? So you can kind of equate that value there. Chessie, however, if he goes down, less valuable. Nice shackle shot to save himself, though. The Gust follow-up might kill off Illusion. They're bringing him low quickly, and he's dead. BKB forced out. GPK as well, and with the spider legs, he can run away. BCC, however, does not have his BKB for 25. And Misery, keeping that slow going down with the Oov, is tossed in the air. Buys enough time to retreat here. GPK's magic immunity is gone, however, but they do guess wrong with that Astral Step, so he'll be able to get away.
Yeah, it was kind of hard to pursue regardless. They were none of his spells were on cooldown for Misery there. They're trying to find if this Roche is going to respawn kind of soon.
Still got at least a minute, 10 seconds, and that's if Gaben graces you with a quick timing.
Yeah, they're gonna find at least this Craggy Coat. Gonna be a nice pickup for Pi. Get a little bit more beefy. And yeah, it looks like BCC is queuing up that Axe. It's gonna reach the level 20 somewhat soon, where he gets the cast range talent. Most likely, you know, in combination with the Axe, gonna get the multiple charges on the Rupture, and you know, together with the Grimstroke, it could be a lot of heroes being ruptured, pretty much.
Yeah, he's definitely going to see blood everywhere. And when you think about rupture targets as well, it's pretty easy, right? Like, you just want Chessie and Ace.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, any of the cores, acceptable rupture targets.
Maybe, like, Sibe is kind of like, he's going to stand there and just throw out spells. So it's, like, not as paramount. I don't think you're worried about the mobility factor of a Jakiro. It's a free 40 movement speed hero.
No, not so much about the mobility. It's more the fact that then he can no longer really run. It's gonna be this high level rupture, so even moving a little bit is gonna deal damage.
Speaking of mobility, Ace has already realized he's definitely gonna need to finish the Hurricane Pike soon, so that's next on the hit list.
This is gonna be now a double damage on this Tiny with the Crystallis, with the spider legs.
I don't think this is a I'ma go murder Roche DD. I think this might be a I'ma go murder 5 particular men DD.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like pretty much any hero that this Tiny finds is there's a big chance that they're gonna go down.
Heard of the Breath of Life. This man now has the Touch of Death.
Misery though is kind of keeping up with farm. I mean, he's surpassed Sibbe a while ago, and he's very close to surpassing Chessie also. But the question is, you know, would you rather have your 4 be this farmed, or would you rather have more farm cores?
I feel like in this game, I kind of want the Void Spirit to have more.
I think it's okay to some extent. I just think it's to some extent at the cost of some of these heroes. I think potentially a more farm draw would be nice, but
yeah.
No, I think at this point, I think it's okay that the Void Spirit is farmed, because he is kind of the one dealing with the CK to some extent.
Well, it's also a case of like, if we weigh up the argument in a balanced fashion, it's like the Jakiro or the Void Spirit.
Yeah, and he actually did go for the Crystallis here, so he's just kind of committing to becoming a core here.
I am damage dealer, fear me. They actually forced out the Phantasm, so Unique need to find some impact. Instead, they're being impacted upon. Misery just starts out to free to break the back line. 19 team free and brought low to simulate to dodge out GPK's combo, and he baited out the Rupture, so he'll be able to move away. You don't have 2 Rupture charges. There's no Axe yet.
I mean, if this fight continues, it could be very beneficial for 5 men here. They haven't really been forced to use anything here. They still got their BKBs and everything. CK has used the Phantasm and is quite low already, so...
I mean, you might even try and sneak Roche in the situation. Maybe pick off first. You'll see him smoke. Like, they realize there is a golden opportunity here. Without Phantasm, CK can't really fight you. Not at this stage, anyway.
Yeah, unless, of course, there's a double damage on the Tiny. In which case, it could get spooky anyways.
Well, they ping them out. They know they're shoving in the mid-wave with a smoke. GPK trying to spider legs. That gets clipped by the Ice Path, though. That DD is only threatening if you're able to initiate with it. He doesn't want to use the BKB. The DD is now gone due to the Yules, and they drag him to the low ground, out of position. The Ice Bar follow-up is there from Seabay again. They're just whittling away at him. Moving in, silence out. But they're able to get him out with the spider legs and the Inkswell as well. 19 team, not target any more full health. They'll actually try to go for him, though. Disruption to save the day. Misery moving in, though. Cuts across. They find the kill onto the Grimstroke. BCC forcing the BKB to run away. Rupture being thrown out. Now, Macropie and Ice Path going down. GPK looking to retreat away from this. They do get the kill into Chessie, but the price of 3 heroes, one of them being your Chaos Knight. And you still have not addressed the Drow Ranger.
Yeah, the 5-men are doing such a good job in these fights of just weaving in and out. I mean, Misery especially with this Void Spirit, just kind of going in and out and forcing these fights to become really awkward for Unique. Also, Pilot Die with the very, very clutch tombstone placements just once again.
Definitely the MVP so far in this game.
Yeah, I mean, both supports of 5-men are doing a very spectacular job. This Roche now, though, is very important. I mean, if they should get this, I think they're pretty much just back in it. However, we'll see if Unique are gonna
I don't think you can. I think if you try and contest this, it's going to be more heads rolling. GPK already submitted that and went to the bot lane. I mean, this is the power of getting this kind of greedy pos for Void Spirit as well, right? Like, once you get that level 20 talent, you mentioned the ways weaving in and out of these fights. That minus 5.5 Astral Step cooldown time, you are nigh on unstoppable. It feels like unless you can burst him from 100 to 0, rather, then he's just going to constantly frustrate you in these fights. Cooldowns aren't relevant.
Yeah, I mean, he's scaling, and I mean, Chessie all of a sudden is the position 4 now of his team. Misery is, you know, closing in on that Daedalus. He's got the Minotaur Horn. He's got so many items here.
I
mean, you know, it's like how you talk about, you know, you don't want the Drow as a solo core. Well, here you have it, right? Oh, here's your 4th core.
It's not the way we were intending it to happen, they say, but don't worry, we've adjusted accordingly. I mean, Chessie, you look at his build. You think about the way your possible win ranges are building right now. The only thing he needs different is Blink Dagger instead of a BKB, and he's there. And
all of a sudden, 5-men are kind of looking at the...
Oh, BCC, he may pay the price for not using that BKB straight away. Glimmer Cape does save his life, though. They forced out the repair kit, however. Misery is able to move away. I just don't... I feel like you're just being forced to rupture the worst target possible every time here. I mean, at least you have Axe, though.
He actually hasn't gone for... Okay, now he actually picks up the cast range talent. So now it's going to be easier for him to at least find the right targets in the fight. But, yeah, I mean... The game is not really getting easier. There's going to be now Magic Lamp 2 on the THD. Potentially, you'd pass over the Cheese to the Wind Ranger. Or you just keep the beefy THD there with the Cheese. But Chessie is definitely a target who's very susceptible to getting ruptured and kind of taken down.
Yeah. I mean, Seabay's trying to be this pseudo frontliner, right? Like, if you look at this team fight and the way they do it each time, Seabay, Palai Die, that's your front line. Misery attacks their back line, and then you just need to hold so the Ace can just whittle away at them from afar. Chessie is that wild card.
This is a very big kind of wraparound here by Unique.
I mean, they'll find a DD.
Another double damage now.
Yeah, but your base
though.
Yeah, repair kit has a cooldown now, so you're definitely losing that tower. Misery just moves in with confidence because there's no real way to threaten him.
And Rupture once again onto Misery.
I mean, he's got one more charge. Soulbind. There's the second one. How are you going to make the Drow move, though? Seabay, a bit more realistic, but if he gets the cheese off, which he will, he's able to just back away. A lot of damage done. Ace being brought down as well. Aegis has been taken away from them, and now you do not have the Ice Path to protect him on the back. Oh, and Ace, BKB. Force out GPKs. 19 team, hit on 2, doesn't have his BKB anymore. Misery needs to back away from this. Did use the Minotaur Horn, is able to escape. You need to be careful. If 19 team overcommits here, he might go down. Trying to move away, disruption to save the day. Ace doesn't sidestep the science though, but the BKB from Chessie to chase down 19 team is going to bring him low and kill him off. And GPK, no magic immunity now, needs to escape, but he can't. Will also die off. Misery once again says, bro, why are these ruptures? What is your problem? What did a Void Spirit do to you in a pub game? Did he build a Daedalus in the pos 4 roll and cause all kinds of issues on the map? I think he did.
Yeah, I mean, these fight recaps, I mean, this Void Spirit he's doing a lot of work.
It's like the passing of the baton. It's like pos 5, now pos 4's turn. Inkswell after the buyback. They do get the kill on Ace, and they find it onto Palai Die as well. Misery will look to just walk away. They throw out the purge, the rupture as well. They really hate this guy. I don't know if you got him though. Oh, it'll just go for the TP away, and they actually throw out the avalanche toss, so it works.
I mean,
This boy's styling.
He's definitely styling at this point. He's really making them work for this. They do get this buyback on the tiny, and they managed to find the draw ranger. I think they overstayed a little bit there. They did. In the end, they got the Rex, and I think Ace is gonna complete his Scotty now. So he's gonna have some more durability, and you know it's gonna be even easier to kind of find these targets once the BKBs are gone, just slowing them down.
And then at the same time, Misery, even more damage because he did take the actual step crit. We kind of knew that was coming with the Daedalus.
Chewing up the secondary Daedalus, of course.
I see what's happened here. Misery's like, yo, what does this hero do? Oh, it's a spirit. Like Ember Spirit from like 2016? That must be it. Just build Daedaluses. How long before Rapier? I mean, I guess.
The game keeps going, you know.
I mean, I guess if they can't kill you, right? Like, why do you need any... Okay, he's changed it now. He's like, no, that's a little bit overkill. I'll just go for a Lois. That way I can rupture BZZ in return.
He's kind of just tired of all these ruptures. He's just like, if you're gonna rupture me, you know, you're gonna tank one yourself, buddy.
Yeah. Speaking of tanking up, you can see he's going for the Shiva's Guard as well. So they're just trying to create this annoying situation where Unique can't burst them. Because the way these fights are going is Unique. They need a kill in like the first 5 seconds of these fights. They can't afford to get dragged into these long bouts.
I mean, they need to find the Draw Ranger and get on top of.
Yeah, good
but
luck.
it's not gonna be. It's not that easy. I mean, the way you can kind of try to approach it is this CK. He goes and uses Phantasm, off kind of, not on the screen, you know, and then he just Silver Edges in, and he can bring the illusions quite far with them.
Meanwhile, by the way, that theme of surviving, have a look at Pylite Dice next cute item. This guy's got dreams, okay?
I mean, a boy can dream, right?
I mean, isn't that far off? You know, before you know it, you'll have level 25, you'll have the reincarnate. You don't have to worry about buyback. Just buy it.
Pylite Die knows the value of a buyback. He's not gonna be silly and waste his gold.
I mean, you say
that. He's decided to queue up the AC instead now.
Okay. He's kind of going through the motions. It's like, what does the team really need? I mean, I like doing damage, but should probably try and help the survivability of some of these other members here.
What does a hero truly need?
Gold. Lots of gold.
That's for you to decide.
Oh, gold. Lots of gold. Shopkeeper didn't want you to know that because then you wouldn't spend your gold with it.
Okay. There's gonna be this double damage top, and the CK is now gonna spot it out.
I mean, if they rush towards this too quickly, though. Misery? Yeah, he sees it. Oh, he's like, no, you freaking don't. That belongs to Chessie. All the small things just adding up. Now you got a DD Wind Ranger, that MKB with the Lincolns. Not really easy to stop him from getting in and doing what he needs to. Just killing any of these
at this
scores.
point, he's finally, you know, kind of able to do what he wants to do now with the Lincolns and BKB protection there. Of course, he can still kind of die to the CK if the Lincolns is broken, but I think he might actually survive. He might survive a few seconds against this Reality Rift.
Yeah, because like you drag in, right? Sibe sees that. If he hasn't used the Ice Path, that's a save that's available to you. It's not the easiest kill to find, as we've seen time and time again in these fights.
Once Ace gets to this Axe, I think that's when he's going to start becoming a bit happier. You know, he's going to be able to kind of clear through these CK illusions rather quickly. I think this next Roche might be the point of contention in this game now.
And it's up.
There's going to be the Axe on Tiny also.
But they're fighting at the base. Well, let's see if Tony Montana can do the work here with the trees. Problem is, once you waste them here, you don't get anything. They might just come back for more. Sibe is just ridiculously tanky. like that was a multi. The shackle shot lands on the 2. Remnant to control him off. They force GPK to go in, and this will work against him. Chessie with the DD chasing in. Lincoln does get popped. Rupture everything out on him to try and kill him off, but he will just try and TP away, which will not be successful as 19 Teen drags him in. They repel the forces of 5 men, and all of a sudden, everyone is retreating.
Yeah, and now you can see there, this is the Aghanims on the SD. He's going to start becoming quite the dangerous hero in this game now. I think he should be potentially just the main target for 5 men in a lot of these fights. I think the Agh's ult, with kind of the cast range of both the Etherlands as well as his talent, he's also obviously got the magic lamp, so it's going to be very difficult to bring him down, and Unique are now going to be the ones going into this Roche.
Worst moment if you're 5 men. You don't even have control of the outpost, so it's not easy to get in if you were to buy back right now. But look at this. They want more. Pylai die. I mean, he might be baiting them here. They need to be very careful not to get baited hard onto the Undying kill. They do see Ace. They go in. Avalanche onto 4 right now. The Ravage effect coming in will allow them to get rid of the Undying straight away. Hex on the side onto Misery. They don't want to commit too hard onto him, though, but the follow-up is good enough. He's down. Buyback comes out from the Undying, but for what? You've already lost too many heroes here. You might lose more. T-Bay steps up. Avalanche from the low ground. They don't want to go in, though. Yules trying to spell off by some time. Macropie being thrown down as he feels like he's not long for this world. And the Phantasm losing chasing in. They do see Ace, but his BKB's running. They need to be careful on the Chaos Knight. The Ice Path through connects onto him. And Ace trying to get rid of the killing time to be able to do so. 4 stuff chasing onto him. BCC trying to turn and fight with the Sovereign to heal him up. The Hex is going to come out. We'll be able to bring him down with the assistance of GPK. Xibe still on the high ground, throwing out these Ice Paths. The reinforcements are coming. Chessie's back in this. Buyback out from Ace. They see the opportunity to end this game right now. GPK is dead and gone. 125 seconds on the sideline. BCC, second thing's throwing out the Rupture. Just needs to run away. He can't afford to go down here. If they have any chance of maybe coming back into this, they need to buy time because there is no buyback on that Tiny for another minute. And in that time, you might just give over the Roche. That's the real problem here, though.
This should just be the Roche for 5 men here, and this should be an Aghs for the Bow Ranger. I think you just give it over to him.
Yep.
He does have the Staff of Wizardry, but I feel like you just sell this and you just give him the Aegis and the Aghs, and you should be quite happy.
I mean, that's the painful part, right? Like, Refresher, you might have felt a little bit more happy about. Actually, instead, they're going to give it over to Chessie. All right. Chessie's like, me like go fast. Ace is like, okay, I bought Staff of Wizardry. I'm a carry. I don't waste my gold.
I mean, do you just give it to Pi at this point? You're just like, Pi, you know, you carried us this far. Just,
No, they gave it to Chessie.
I know, I'm just saying. Just,
nah.
It would have been...
I mean, I'd say he carried them early. Misery's been taken over now. Misery's already got an axe.
Yeah, sure.
T-Bay gets hit out by the Purge. I don't know, weird feeling putting those 2 spells together, considering Rupture wants him to move quicker. And he'll just stand there, like a friendly neighborhood dragon, watching over. As Van Score is going to be brought down low, but not killed off. Glimmer Cape does get him out, and the Ice Path doesn't connect. But Ace doesn't care. He just keeps whittling away at these buildings. Misery moves in. Remnant's going to come out onto the Shadow Demon, bring him low, and that Dispel's going to do nothing for him. He's dead. Buyback comes out. BCC has to use a Rupture BKB. Meanwhile, they'll chase in and look for the kill on Misery. Be able to find it. Hex out into 2 because of the Soul Bind. Xibe, not really the primary target you want to go for. Macropass, they'll be able to retreat away. And 19 drags himself into it. The BKB gets activated to try and run away. Yules will dodge out the damage. T-Bay trying to move away, but can't. The Blood Right kills him off. Ace is still alive, though. Still hasn't given over that Aegis. They say, we're done here, lads. Let's get out. TP out successfully. There's no stopping that move away as 19's not able to dish the damage.
Yeah, now this is gonna be the completed Aghs here for Ace. 2 sides up here, 5 men. I mean, in an incredibly back and forth so far game, where I mean, I feel like we've seen pretty much it all at this point.
Oh, we're seeing what we usually see in our pub games against Windredge here. It's casual solo pickoff and the runaway with the wind run because he got the level 25 invincibility.
Yeah, he's one speedy boy now. Also sitting at 5k gold, he goes for the bots here.
Makes sense, right? Because now you have the easy way in. You got the wind run with the invis. If you see someone split pushing, you just arrive early, you kill them every time. Which means if you're unique, you kind of get forced to move around this map as 5 a lot of the time now.
And look at Ace. He's actually forced to backpack his axe right now, just because he's kind of out of slots with this with the Aegis, and you know he kind of needs all of his items. So potentially he goes for the upgraded Aghanims. He does have this Lincoln's queued up, but he doesn't really have a slot for that either. So kind of see where he goes with this.
I mean, he's got 2 more minutes having that Aegis, and then you're free to do what you want. I think you look at it, you go, maybe if I just switch out the treads, and then you think about how slow you are in this game, like, I'll switch out the treads.
He's gonna be really slow, bro, if he does that. The Bloodseeker is still dead for another 30 seconds, so they might try to force something here, kind of force out the buyback. This fight, though, is a little bit scary. I mean, should they be able to kill Ace twice, then he's gonna be out for 4 minutes.
Very dangerous. Palai commits the tombstone early, though. And if he goes down, of course, he took the tombstone on Death Talent. Disruption, moving in. Misery will just back away, though. He's just given vision for the moment. Forcing out the BKB so early from GPK. He says, I need relevance. Throw trees right now. But now you're just going to have to back up far. You need someone else to now initiate for you. That might be a tall order here. Face will just keep whittling away.
It's just a very dainty way of doing things. They have to be very careful. Getting this Drow tossed into the base could spell some big disaster here for 4 or 5 men. Tiny now with the double Daedalus and the over destruction. I mean, he's gonna deal so much damage here.
He's running out of trees to throw at them, though. But I got one more volley here, guys. Then I have to back up further. And he doesn't even get all the creeps. Blood Ride. Shackle shot connects on to both the supports. They're trying to follow up, but GPK forced to initiate. They're moving. Misery keeping the supports busy and forcing them away, which means GPK is going to be hung and dried, as he will die. Dead for 100 seconds. Misery is extremely low, will be brought down, but they're going to lose another hero as Van Score falls. On the side, Rupture trying to deal with Chessie. He's able to retreat out of the base. Paladai gets dragged in. 19 teams. BKB running out soon. Needs to retreat away. BKB from BZZ's running out as well. So Yule's going to be there. Ice Path follow up as well. And they'll be able to bring down the Bloodseeker. They might even find Illusion on the side as he's not quick enough to move away. He pops the Lincolns, but that's all he's going to do. Disruption to try and save himself. But Paladai chasing him with the Soul Rip will be able to find the kill. BKB from Chessie to run this off is going to be able to move away. But Rupture means he has to TP out and he'll be able to do so. Clean cut, not giving over his life. Aegis going to be taken away from Ace, though. The timing on this, forced up to get him away from this teammate, trying to serve them away and save the day. The save from the side of 5 men's going to be enough. And Ace, with that 5-second start, they just can't do anything with it. 19 team. I think he might go down here.
Pilot dies.
Way too much. And Pilot die. Pilot carry. Like, get out of my face. This is my core. I decide when Ace dies, not you. And even the chorus are trying to protect their base because they know what Ace is going to do now. Ice Path comes down to 19 teen. Got Phantasm coming off cooldown, but it won't matter. It's irrelevant. He's dead. He has to buy back here.
I mean, and Pi with the reincarnation talent
Tombstone, baby.
Tombstone
Let's
on
go.
death. It's going to be another Tombstone. And if he dies now, there's going to be
another one.
Tombstone. And another one.
And another one. And another one. And how do you deal with them? Especially if he splits them up. Pilot Die will give his life to Soulbite. Now that he's dead, that does free Chessie to move away. These 5-second stuns, I've never seen them feel so irrelevant. Shackle shot doesn't connect. Chessie does get dragged in, but the GG's there. They already take down the throne. 5 men, despite what may have looked like a shaky game, come back to take a 2-0 victory.
Yeah, I think that was, I mean, a very impressive display of what you can do despite being at such a disadvantage early on in the game. They were, they were struggling so hard in all these lanes, and then through some incredibly scrappy fights and just weaving back in and out, constantly. Misery on the Void Spirit, just Pilot Die with some incredibly clutch tombstone placements. Just overall, they managed to bring it back there.
I think the baffling part is like what you mentioned there, the way they're kiting. Like, even when you get to late game, we mentioned Team Unique, they have this burst potential, right? Like, it stays there throughout the game. But I think like those final fights really kind of set it in motion, like kind of painted the picture for you, right? Like 5 seconds stun, 5 seconds stun. And they've got 5 seconds where Ace is removed or Chessie's removed, but they have no way of reaching these targets because, as you mentioned, like, they disengage. And the baffling part is, like, when we look at the itemizations from 5 men, it's not like we're talking about a lineup that's built loads of 4 stars. It's built like these mobility type items, right? They haven't got a
No.
single blink. They haven't got a single force stuff. It's just the
I mean,
inherent
it's the
nature of some of these heroes.
pike on the draw range.
True.
I mean, the thing that they were doing is that they were doing a really good job at protecting Ace. And he was also kind of keeping his position. But it's just like the way Misery was taking these fights and Pi, what they're both doing is they're both these just like bruiser melee heroes. They're just like running in, and they're demanding attention doing this, right? They have to be addressed. And when these heroes have to be addressed, it allows for both Ace and Chessie to do their job, which is to just output damage. So very nice way of playing both these supports here to enable your cores.
Not most
And
definitely.
yeah, they I mean they managed to take this game, and yeah, quite impressive performance here by 5 men.
No, especially when you consider that we looked at their drafts and we kind of came to the assumption that they had to win the lanes. They had to come out ahead. You look back at those lanes, that's not how it began. I mean, I guess the argument that's going to come in, the thing that people are going to sit here and go, is this just a case of 5 men outclassing Unique, right? Is this a case of just the experience and the talent of these proven players maybe coming through in comparison to Unique's kind of been around a while, but, still trying to find their way onto lands regularly CIS players?
I mean, I think the position. I think like the difference game is the position 4 and 5.
Hmm.
I feel like the performance from both Pi and Misery in this game was just they just outshone their counterparts by quite a margin, I would say.
Definitely the MVPs of this game. Not sure the series, but we'll let someone else worry about those details. 5 men, they've kept the pattern going. This is another 2-0. And hopefully tomorrow we can get some free game series in. So we will be returning again. And we'll be opening the day with a match that I know quite a lot of people looking forward to. In fact, a lot of people were expecting, because we were originally going to get upper brackets out of the way in day one. But instead, my Golems versus Khan was shifted to day 2. So we'll open up with another upper bracket match where neither of those teams will be eliminated, but whoever goes down will face off against Hellraisers. And after that, we'll go on to do the Viking series, which is going to be now confirmed against 5 men. That one should be pretty hyped, judging by this one as well. So all you're hearing from me is plenty of reasons to come back tomorrow, watch some more Dotes. I know you want to. I want to. I'm going to be here. Same time as today. We'll kick it off with 3 more best of 3s. I don't know what you want from us.
3 more best of 3s?
3
That's insane.
more. 3 best-of-3. So we're going 3-3, all right? Which is perfect because Net is playing tomorrow.
Mud Golems?
There we go. 3-game series all the way, all right? We've had best of 2s essentially here that have been stomps. Well, not stomps totally, but, 2-0s. Now we want the real best-of-3s. We want to see that third game. We want to see someone that comes down the line. We don't want the secret effect. We can just hope.
No.
Okay? So you guys go get some sleep. Or I don't think the NA Dotes are still going. So just go get some sleep. It's very simple. And then you come back at 2 p.m. CST tomorrow. We'll get this party started once more.
Be here or be square.
Nerds.